the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, thank you for joining us on DC News Now. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. We're going to get to your top stories in just a bit, but first we want to check in with meteorologist Jackie Layer with how it's going to feel today. Jackie, I know that it's going to be really hot.
Yeah, we're going to be heating things up through the day today. High temperatures expected to climb close to 90 degrees. If we do reach 90 in DC, that'll be the first time this year. So today you want to stay cool, stay hydrated as well. Those temperatures will continue to climb through the afternoon hours. We're looking at 4 p.m. High temperatures upper 80s. And yes, you notice that hazy icon on this planner. Yeah, we're still going to be tracking that haze sticking around associated with the Canadian wildfire smoke. I don't think it's going to be quite as thick as what we had yesterday, but heads up, still going to be dealing with that. That sunset will be just before 8:30 later on this evening. So it's going to be a hot one today and muggy. Tomorrow, a bit more on the humid side. We'll see a few more clouds out there tomorrow and a chance for some isolated storms back out towards the mountains. We'll have more details and timing it all out with that 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Workers in D.C. are holding a rally this morning to keep Initiative 82. Now, this comes as the council voted to pause the next wage bump under Initiative 82 yesterday. It also comes as Mayor Bowser is pushing to repeal the act altogether in order to make it easier to do business in D.C. I-82 was first enacted 3 years ago to phase out minimum wage. Restaurant owners claims it has made it more expensive to operate, leading to closures. One hospitality worker rallying in support of keeping the initiative tells us it's been helpful.
I make the tipped minimum wage currently, and my employer is not willing to pay me more than what is the minimum. And so the raises provided by Initiative 82 are essential to increasing our wages.
And the federal government is also considering no tax on tips if that passes. Council members say it will have a big impact on the pay restaurant workers receive. And there's an ethics complaint filed against D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. A watchdog group is looking to see if a trip to a conference in Dubai back in 2023 was an illegal gift. The Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust says it's a nonpartisan ethics watchdog and wants to look into if Qatar, the neighboring country to United Arab Emirates, paid nearly $62,000 for the mayor's trip to Dubai, and if the mayor accepted an illegal gift. We have reached out to the mayor's office, but we have not heard back yet. And a former Ward 8 staffer is now in custody after allegedly threatening someone at a debate. This happened Monday at the Union Temple Baptist Church in Southeast. Police say Eric Cleckley was arrested Monday. A man says Cleckley threatened him during a debate because he believed the other man looked at him in a threatening way. Other witnesses say Cleckley got into the man's face during the debate and threatened to knock him out while arguing with the man outside of the church. We're still waiting to learn when Cleckley will appear in court. And dozens of unlicensed food trucks towed from busy tourist destinations in the district. The city is touting it as a big step for safety in downtown D.C. Our Max Marcella has more at the National Mall.
Along Independence Avenue, it's really easy to grab a meal or a cold treat out of a food truck.
I just assumed that everyone was legal and that they were licensed to be there.
Unfortunately, for a long time, it's also been easy to get that snack from an unlicensed food truck, but that could be changing.
There were a lot of unlicensed food truck operators who were creating pollution, blocking walkways, endangering pedestrians, parking illegally, and really making it unsafe for customers at the mall.
These are photos from a Friday crackdown. It took several federal and district agencies, but they towed 32 unlicensed food trucks and handed out dozens of citations.
He just closed the road, and every food truck had an officer car agency on next to each truck.
A big-time help for licensed food truck owners like Sam Juanice, who's run Mexicana Grill for more than a decade.
If you want to work in DC, you gotta have your license and you gotta get all your stuff together.
But beyond limiting unlawful competition for regulated businesses like Juanice's, the district says there's a safety measure to this. After all, in order to get your license, you have to pass health inspections and stay up to fire code.
Propane and open flames, those can be very dangerous for consumers, and we've seen that on the mall a few times where food trucks have caught fire.
And now to a story you'll only see on DC News Now. The district is all done up for World Pride with rainbows and banners everywhere, but there's conflict and confusion at an apartment building. Renters say building management allowed them to keep their decorations up only to see them ripped down. One man took a video of the church's custodian cutting down the decorations last night. The man said he and the other two women who live in the building were excited about the decorations. He says it's important to celebrate who he is and the community at large, especially when many people in the LGBTQ community are under attack. He tells us he wants to be a good neighbor, but this upset him.
It was somewhat resolved. The management company said that they weren't going to take action. They said that we could leave it up till Monday, which they didn't tell us in person, but by email, and now it's all ripped down. We've been really friendly with the custodian himself, and I just feel awful. I feel awful for him. I mean, I guess he had to do his job, but it was just awful to see.
Now, the apartment and church are both under the same management. They say decorations, regardless of the occasion or holiday, violate leasing terms. And some confusion around a story we first told you about yesterday, with large crowds expected to gather for World Pride this weekend. Some district leaders now saying DuPont Circle will remain open to the public. The National Park Service announced Monday that DuPont Circle will be closed, citing a history of destructive incidents at the park around Pride events. U.S. Park Police will make the final decision in the coming days. DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Unofficial results show Democrat Aisha Braveboy is the projected winner in the special election race for Prince George's County Executive. The Board of Elections data shows Braveboy with just over 89% of the vote. She is Prince George's County's state's attorney. Republican Jonathan White, an Air Force veteran, has about 10% of the vote. And Braveboy will finish out Angela Alsobrooks' term. Alsobrooks won Maryland's Senate seat last November. And the results are also in for District 5 council member race. Democrat Shayla Adams Stafford was the clear winner with 92% of the vote, and Republican Fred Price Jr. received just under 7% of the vote. And turning now to Virginia, a date for the special election to fill Congressman Jerry Connolly's seat has now been set. The longtime lawmaker died from cancer last month. That special election will be held in September. That's September 9th. The 11th district covers much of Fairfax County and has long been a Democratic stronghold. FFXNow.com reports 8 Democrats and 2 Republicans intend to run for the seat. The deadline to file as a candidate is July 11th. And as summer begins, people are going to be spending more time outdoors. But with the warmer weather also comes summer pests like mosquitoes and ticks. Those bugs can cause annoyances whether you're hiking a trail or sitting in your backyard. Experts say to enjoy outdoor activities pest-free, and in order to do that, you should take a few precautions. That includes using natural repellents and tick-proof clothing. One professor of entomology at Clemson University says one thing that you should avoid is bug zappers.
Not a big fan of the bug zappers. You will kill bugs with those devices, and you will get some of the quote-unquote bad bugs, but you'll also get a lot of other insects that are not bad insects at all. You may even get some insects that would have fed on the mosquitoes.
Now, experts say what does work are repellents. They work by masking human cues like heat, scent, and carbon dioxide, which makes it harder for insects to find you. All right, let's talk about weather now. If people want to head outside, and you might want to use that repellent today, it's going to be a hot one, Jackie.
Yeah, it's going to feel like summer out there later on today, a bit more muggy. That heat building back in with high temperatures right around 90 degrees. We could reach our first 90-degree day later on today of the year, so that'll be something that we'll keep a close eye on. But we do have that hazy sunshine out there again today, where that filtered look to the sky, because some of the more of that Canadian wildfire smoke in our upper atmosphere. Air quality should remain staying good to moderate. Humidity will be on the rise over the next couple of days. So again, with that heat building in, definitely want to stay cool, stay hydrated the next several days. Be on the lookout for a thunderstorm, especially developing later on Friday, and then that will continue into the first half of this upcoming weekend, and the summer-like weather pattern will be sticking around. In terms of the smoke forecast, those hazy skies sticking around today, a bit more on the thicker side back out towards our westernmost area, especially closer towards sunset this evening. And then as we look ahead towards tomorrow, we should see some better conditions, some improvement as that smoke does start to lift out. Rain chances, though, that will be on the rise into the weekend. Saturday, rain chances and thunderstorm chances likely. Tomorrow, that slight chance that's back out towards the mountains region. Elsewhere should be dry. As we look ahead towards Friday, any rain chances will likely hold off till later on in the day. But today, we're tracking the dry conditions, that hazy sunshine and temperatures heating up. High temperatures likely upper 80s to right around 90. Sunset later on this evening will be just before 8:30, but temperatures are around 8 o'clock this evening, right around 80 degrees. So still looking at that warmth, still sticking around even later this evening. So again, highs close to 90 in D.C. if we don't already reach it later on today. Overall hot, a bit more on the muggy side too, with those winds picking up mainly out of south, pumping in that heat and humidity that we'll see today. If we didn't have any of that Canadian wildfire smoke today, we would have those beautiful blue skies with mainly clear conditions. But nonetheless, we still have it. So hazy sunshine and the heat and that humidity building back in. As we look ahead towards tomorrow morning, starting off low to mid 60s, so not cooling off all too much overnight. We'll see partly cloudy skies out there tomorrow. Then an isolated shower or thunderstorm threat back out towards the mountains region tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. For the rest of the region, we should be remaining dry, but you'll notice a bit more of the cloud cover out there tomorrow. We have this front approaching the area from the Midwest, slowly pushing its way closer towards our area, likely pushing in later in the day Friday, bringing with it those rain chances, especially back along and west of the I-81 corridor. Then that low pressure system approaches from the west with that cold front starting off with scattered showers in the morning. Then we're looking at that storm threat into your Saturday afternoon as that cold front will be traversing the region. Behind that front, we are drier out there for the second half of the weekend. It's much more seasonable this weekend, though. Lower 80s both weekend days. We're talking low to mid 80s out there next Monday and Tuesday with some isolated thunderstorm chances.
All right, Jackie, sounds good. Mean a lot of freedom for kids, with many students ready to head out on bikes, but not all families can offer rides for the children. That's where some volunteers come into play. DC News Now's Dave Laval shows us how they're making sure hundreds of kids have some wheels.
Every second grader in D.C. public schools is required to learn how to ride a bicycle. Unfortunately, not every parent can buy their child one. However, it's about to get easier for many kids to get around town. An assembly line opened up Tuesday at the J.K. Moving Warehouse in Sterling, Virginia.
1, 2, 3, release.
Glad to be here today to help out with all of this.
Happy arm, put the screw here.
Volunteers assembled 210 bikes, graduation presents for the students as part of the Graduation on Wheels program. Volunteers say they're glad to do it.
Being able to give them a bike that they can take to school, to go ride with their friends, that's really important as a kid.
This is the second year of the program, organized by Care First. It again teamed with various agencies, including D.C. Public Schools and D.C. Bike Ride, to get bicycles to second graders who can't afford them.
It allows us to engage with our community. Our mission at the end of the day is to make cycling more accessible and affordable and safer for marginalized communities in which we operate in.
425 bikes have been given to D.C. public school students since the program began last year. Like then, J.K. Moving will deliver them to those waiting to use them. All of these bikes will be given away June 13th at the Kenilworth Park and Recreation Center. In Sterling, Virginia, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, that is all the time we have for you this morning on DC News Now. Be sure to stick around for more news and weather coming up on the news at noon.